and welcome to NextGen Showcase. My name is Andrew Binger, and I'm the Artistic Director of Yendor Theater Company based in the city of Newark, New Jersey. And this event is a part of the 2021 Stages Festival hosted by the New Jersey Theater Alliance. At the end of 2020, the Theater Alliance welcomed in a few new theaters into their membership, and we're honored that Yendor Theater Company was invited to be members of the Theater Alliance. And technically, this is our first event as members. And what a fitting way to start being a part of the 2021 Stages Festival. Each spring, the Theater Alliance hosts free or low-cost events throughout the state of New Jersey as a part of a Stages Festival. This year's Stages Festival ran from the months of March to May, so we're nearing the end of it, but we're excited to contribute something amazing to the Stages Festival, and I hope you will check out the New Jersey Theater Alliance's website and get acclimated with some of the amazing events that they've done at other theaters throughout the state. A little bit more about tonight's showcase. In the midst of the pandemic, one of the things that we at Yendor began to think about is what's the impact of being separate, being distant? What's the impact of public spaces being closed for young people? And how are the arts going to recover? And how are young people going to navigate this, especially if they hope to pursue careers in the arts? And we decided to build upon our arts education offerings by starting a new initiative called NextGen. And this is for young people between the ages of 16 and 21 who want to pursue careers in the arts, whether that's performing or visual arts. What are the things that are necessary to navigate these careers, especially for young people who may have decided to take a gap year or may have decided that higher education isn't for them at all, who may or may not have robust art programmings in their own schools in their day-to-day lives. Some of the young people that you'll see tonight are new to us, and some of them have been working with us for a number of years, and we're excited to share their work with you. But before we get to the showcase, I want to send out a few special thank yous, specifically to the people who helped make the Stages Festival 2021 possible. So, I definitely need to shout out the New Jersey Theater Alliance, of course, the New Jersey State Council on the Arts, which is a foundation under the National Endowment of the Arts, Bank of America, the Horizon Foundation for New Jersey, Ocean First Foundation, the George A. Ole Jersey Junior Trust, try that one more time, the George A. Ole Junior Trust, not Jersey Trust, the New Jersey Historical Commission, and the Fund for the New Jersey Blind. I'll be back a little bit later to talk to you a little bit more about some amazing things happening here in the city of Newark, but in just a couple seconds, this will be transformed into a wonderful stage, and you will enjoy some amazing performances from some young people. So I hope you enjoy tonight's show.
My name is Isaiah Williams, and I'm from East Orange, New Jersey. I'm passionate about acting. I've been acting ever since 6th grade. I've been going to a performing arts school, Cicely Tyson, and I really started to get passionate about acting over like the last 2 years, where I've started to learn more about the history of acting and started to get more roles in like plays and really started to enjoy it. I'll be performing one of Levy's monologues from August Wilson's play, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. Well, I've been in this program, the NAACP AXO program. I've had this mentor, Tanya Swift. She's done a great job, and I'm really thankful for all her help. Prior to actually working on AXO, I watched the movie, and I was really moved by Chadwick Boseman's work as Levy. So I hit up one of my teachers, Mr. Lemon, my theater arts teacher at school, and told him that I wanted to potentially do this monologue in the future, so I worked on it with him for a little bit too. Levy got to be Levy, and he don't need nobody mess with him about the white man. Y'all don't know Levy. Y'all don't know nothing about what kind of blood I got, what kind of heart I got beating here. I was 8 years old when I watched a gang of white mans come into my daddy's house, have to do with my mama any way they wanted. We was living in Jefferson County, about 80 miles outside of Natchez. My daddy's name was Memphis Lee Green. Had him there 50 acres of good farming land. I'm talking about good land. Grow anything you want. He done gone off his shares and bought the land from Mr. Hallie's widow woman after he done passed on. Folks called him an uppity nigga because he done saved and borrowed so he can buy that land to be independent. It was coming on planting time, so he went into Natchez to get some seed and fertilizer. Called me, said, Levy, you the man of the house now. Take care of your mama while I'm gone. I wasn't but a little boy, 8 years old. My mama was frying up some chicken when them men came in the house. Must have been 8 or 9 of them. And she's standing there frying that chicken when the men's come in there and they take hold of her like you take hold of a mule and make him do whatever you want. There was my mama with a gang of white men. And she tried to fight them off, but I could see where it wasn't gonna do her any good. I didn't know what they were doing, but I figured whatever it was, they may as well do to me too. My daddy had a knife that he kept around there for hunting and working and whatnot. I knew where he kept it and I went and got it. I'm gonna show you how spooked up I was by the white man. I tried my damnedest to cut one of them men's throat. I hit him on the shoulder. And he reached back, grabbed hold of that knife, whacked me right across the chest with it. And that's what made him stop. They scared I'ma bleed to death. So my mama, she wrapped the sheet around me. She carried me 2 miles down to the furlough place. And she took me to Doc Alvin's. And he said he waiting on a calf to be born. He ain't had time to see me. So they took me to Miss Etta, the midwife. And she fixed me up. Then my daddy, Memphis Lee Green, he came and acted like he done accepted the facts of what happened to my mama. But he got the names of them men from mama. And once he found out who they was, we announced we was moving out of that county. Said goodbye to everybody, all the neighbors. See, I watched him smile in his cracker's face. Smile in his face and sell him our land. And we announced we moving over with relations in Caldwell. My daddy, he helped us get settled in. Till he took off one day. I ain't never seen him since. You see, he went back in them woods, laying to get them 8 or 9 men. And he got 4 of them. He got 4 of them before they got him. See, they caught up to him. They hung him, and they set him afire. My daddy wasn't spooked up by the white man, no sir. See, I watched him smile in his cracker's face. Smile in his face and sell him our land. All the while, he's thinking of how he's gonna get him. What he's gonna do to him. So y'all gonna leave Levy alone about the white man. I could smile in whoever's face. Say yes, sir, to whoever I want. I got time coming to me. So y'all gonna leave Levy alone about the white man.
I'm Dazon Austin from Newark, New Jersey. My artistic passions are music and drama. Today I'm going to be performing a song called April Showers that I actually wrote myself. And the inspiration behind it was, I was just young and I was in my bag and I just wrote what I felt. You can follow me on Instagram at Dazine, DAZINE_Austin. Standing in the rain, hand on my chest, wondering if you feel this pain too, pain too, pain. Standing in the rain, hand on my chest, wondering if you feel this pain too, pain too, pain. Steady contemplating, meditating, thinking about the days when life was good, how'd it go wrong? Feeling pain in my chest, wondering how I'll move on. When you broke me down, how do I rebuild when I'm so low to the ground? Sometimes I just wanna stay down. These April showers got me standing here, thinking for hours, thinking I can't stand it. Life never goes as you plan it. I gave you my all, you left me stranded. Dang, so cold, you're a bandit. You stole my heart, then you vanished. I need to pick me up, 'cause you've been putting me down lately. You've been making me frown, baby. Oh, standing in the rain, hand on my chest, wondering if you feel this pain too, pain too, pain. Standing in the rain, hand on my chest, wondering if you feel this pain too, pain too, pain.
My name is Goldie Lamotte, and I'm from the Bronx, New York. I am currently representing People's Prep Charter High School. My artistic passions are to be a journalist or maybe dabble in a little acting. As a senior in high school, what's next is hopefully college. Loyola University, Maryland is looking kind of gorgeous right now. I'll be performing Psychologist. It is about a teenage girl who is forced by her parents to go see a therapist. How do I feel about it? You seriously just asked me how I feel about it? Classic. You know, this whole psychologist thing in general is kind of corrupt. You sit down, listen to my problems, supposedly, and ask me how I feel? Last night I Googled stuff about psychologists, and all I have to say is, wow. Y'all get paid a pretty hefty salary to just sit there and listen to people go on and on about their problems. But I mean, let's be honest here. Between me and you don't actually listen. You're just thinking about going home, watching TV, what you're gonna eat for dinner. You're not listening now. Look, I'm not stupid, okay? You guys are still regular people with your own problems. All I'm saying is, maybe asking me how I feel about it wasn't the best approach. You know what? Let's just cut this short, okay? You can sit here for the next hour, writing in your notepad, thinking about what you're gonna eat for dinner, and I'm gonna go ride my skateboard for the next hour. Okay? That'll make us both feel better. Gonna ask me how I feel about it. You crazy?
My name is Aljanad Parrish. I was born and raised in Newark, New Jersey. The school I graduated from in 2020 was Arts High School. My artistic passions is a wide variety of things, actually. I like filmmaking, acting, writing stories, anything that basically means I could tell or play in stories. At the moment, I am working on Tears, written and directed by Reggie Gaines in June, and it will be at the Downtown Urban Arts Festival. I will be performing a piece called The Gift of Tongues. You will be able to keep in touch with me at my Instagram at ALJANODPARRISH, Aljanad Parrish.
My mama, my mama was a God-fearing woman. And I would have feared God too if he made a child that looked like me. You see, my parents were very strict religious people, and it was always so confusing to me because they would call people in our church brother and sister, and for the longest time, I thought I was related to the entire congregation. You see, I'm an only child. And I had only been born after a few months after my parents had been married. But something must have drastically went wrong that fateful night because I was born all messed up. My jawbone hadn't formed, and I didn't even have any fingers on my left hand. But my mama always said from the very start, she was lucky to have a kid like me. But she lies, like all the time. And I bet when she first had me, she probably wanted nothing to do with me. And to this day, the doctors still can't even tell me what caused my birth defect. Like, how don't you know? This is their job, and you can't even tell me what's wrong with me. I started talking when I was 7 years old. So when I was 6, I got my jaw surgically rebuilt so I could learn to talk. The doctor said with intensive speech therapy, I could talk in about a year. And you know, I remember that day like it was yesterday. I said my very first words at a tent revival. And my pastor, Brother Jackson, well, he was convinced that I was possessed by the devil. So almost every day at church he'll get oil, rub it across my forehead, and then he'll get the Bible. And then he'll just start hitting me again and again, saying, Satan, get out! Satan, get out! The power of Christ compels you! And then he did it again and again and again until I said, stop it, jerk! Stop it! After that night, my parents was convinced that miracles really did happen. So they began to pray. I even prayed. I prayed for fingers on my left hand so I could play a sport like baseball. But God never answered my prayer.
All right, well, I hope you've enjoyed the first portion of this evening's presentations, and I wanted to take just a moment to address something very serious. Because in explaining his performance tonight, Dazon Austin said that he was, quote, in his bag when he wrote that song. And if you're like me, member of the older generation, you have no clue what that is. So I got the official definition for us all. In my bag, emotional, heartbroken, in your feelings. So for anyone who was a little bit lost as to what he was talking about, now we all are on the same page. But in all seriousness, I actually came to make a really, really serious announcement. Well, one that's already announced, but just in case you missed it. Just a few short weeks ago, it was announced that Yendor Theater Company will be the official and first theater in residence at Newark Symphony Hall as a part of their new incubator program called The Lab. And this is the brainchild of Tanisha Nash Laird, who is the CEO and president of Newark Symphony Hall. And I'm just excited about all the amazing productions and presentations that we'll be able to do in partnership with Newark Symphony Hall. And if you want to find out a little bit more information about the lab, go to newarksymphonyhall.org. And there'll be openings for other people to be a part of this incubator program. It's open to others in the performing arts world who want to work on stage or behind the scenes. What's also announced a few short weeks ago was the first production as a part of this partnership. And Yendor Theater Company, through Symphony Hall, will be partnering with Waco Theater in LA on a production of Black Terror by Richard Wesley, which is going to be directed by Richard Lawson. So two giants in the industry, in this business, in this work, Richard Wesley and Richard Lawson. And I'm excited. I've got a chance to hear some of what's happening in this production, and it's going to be absolutely amazing. So you can definitely stay tuned to NewarkSymphonyHall.org as well as YendorTheaterCompany.com for updates as far as dates for auditioning for Black Terror and presentation dates. So definitely stay tuned to that. Again, special shout out to Tanisha Nash Leard for her amazing leadership in bringing all of this together. And shout out to board members for Newark Symphony Hall, Richard Wesley and board chair Fayemi Shakur. Well, let's get back into the performances, and I'll see you in just a short bit.
My name is Rabia Footman, and I am from Newark, New Jersey. My artistic passions include singing, acting. I do like to write. I really love writing. And I like to swim. I can't swim, but I like to do it. I represent Arts High School. I am a junior, and I major in drama. The first piece I will be performing is called Stolen Candy. I actually just wrote it this morning. I had something prepared previously, but I felt this piece a little bit more, so I decided to present it today. There's something so special about an unopened piece of candy. The vision of its perfect, untouched shape, the sickening smell of how sweet it could possibly be. We wait and dream for the moment when we can finally unwrap it and perhaps give it to someone special to us. But what happens when your piece of candy is stolen from you? That uncanny feeling of having someone rip off that wrapper and scatter what's inside. The feeling of being denied a moment everyone deserves to have preserved. My candy was swallowed as my heart hollowed. I followed you on a path that contrasts my every hope and expectation. I listened as you conditioned and imprisoned my mind to simply find everything you said to be true. And now, where are you? I'm left here to cope with everything you put me through. I spew hate for you. You narrowed my view, leaving me to believe that love was something that could only be achieved through the eyes of men, that my body was nothing but a tool to be used at the expense of a man's immense pleasure. That I no longer have the leisure to just be. The world you've created for me has faded, and so has my belief in all things incredibly sweet. My biggest motivator has to be my mother. She has always inspired me and motivated me to keep going in acting and in singing, because you know, this career is hard. Everything is about talent and look and chance, and it's very easy to feel discouraged in what you do, and she always inspires me to keep going. The next piece I will be performing is a song called She Used to Be Mine. It is from the musical Waitress. You can follow me on Instagram. My handle is Bia_love. I don't post most art stuff on there, but I will soon, so it's coming soon. And if you like me, hire me. Thank you. It's not simple to say that most days I don't recognize me, that these shoes and this apron, that place and its patrons have taken more than I gave them. It's not easy to know I'm not anything like I used to be. Although it's true, I was never attention sweet sinner, but I still remember that girl. She's imperfect, but she tries. She is good, but she lies. She is hard on herself. She is broken and won't ask for help. She is messy, but she's kind. She is lonely most of the time. She is all of this mixed up and baked in a beautiful pie. She is gone, but she used to be mine. And you're not what I asked for. Sometimes life just slips in through a back door and carves out a person and makes you believe it's all true. And now I've got you. And you're not what I asked for. If I'm honest, I know I would give it all back for a chance to start over and rewrite an ending or two. For that girl that I knew who was reckless just enough, who gets hurt, but who learns how to toughen up when she's bruised and gets used by a man who can't love. Then she'll get stuck and be scared of this life that's inside her, growing stronger each day, till it finally reminds her to fight just a little, to bring back that fire in her eyes that's been gone, but used to be mine. It used to be mine. She is messy, but she's kind. She is lonely most of the time. She is all of this mixed up and baked in a beautiful pie. She is gone, but she used to be mine. One thing I want to say is that you are not your trauma. Through the song I sung and the piece, I really want to say that you are not your trauma and that you need to love yourself even after all of the bad things you've been through, because you are still a beautiful, a wonderful person, even if you have scars. And I want you to know that people love you and that you should love yourself.
I'm Jamilex Fleming, and I'm from Newark, New Jersey. I graduated from Arts High School. I love to sing and act, and I love instruments. I just love music in general and the arts in general. I would like to shout out Al Janad, all of my vocal teachers from Arts High School, and David Richardson, who was my speech team coach. Those are individuals that have helped me grow as an artist. My Instagram is _JazzyLex. That's where people can stay connected with me. I'm looking to post more content as time goes by. Today I will be performing a song by Janae Aiko entitled Frequency. We are never far. We are never far. We are never far. Frequency, frequently, as I release these frequencies, speak to me. Every low foul listener, please keep from me. As I release these frequencies, oh, free my city, free my seed. Bless my situation, give me freedom. Bless the generation, give them mercy. Bless the situation, oh, be with me frequently. Bless my situation, give me freedom. Bless the generation, give them mercy. Bless the situation. Never far, we are never far. We are never far. We are never far. Be with me frequently. We are never far.
All right, so we got one more performer here tonight, but before we get to Omotolani, I wanted to take a moment to do some very quick thank yous and some shout outs. So, very first shout out has to go to the New Jersey Theater Alliance, and I gotta shout them out by name: John, Erica, Deontay, Lauren, Beth, for their amazing leadership in putting together the Stages Festival for 2021, but also the amazing work that they do in bringing New Jersey theaters together, as well as helping them magnify their impact with the communities that they serve. So thank you to the 5 of you for your leadership and for your hard work. I gotta thank Newark Arts under the leadership of Jeremy Johnson, who unfortunately just announced that he will be relocating and leaving his position at Newark Arts. But we thank you, on behalf of Yendor, I thank you, Jeremy, and a heartfelt thank you for believing in the power of the work that Yendor does, but also seeing the importance of theater here in the city of Newark and being an advocate for that. So, of course, heartfelt thank you and gratitude to you, Jeremy Johnson, and well wishes in your next role. Always have a space and a place here in the front row of any production we do here in the city of Newark. Speaking of the city of Newark, I got to thank the city of Newark under the leadership of the Honorable Mayor Raz J. Baraka, and I shouted her out earlier as the board chair of Symphony Hall, but I also have to shout out the Director of Cultural Affairs, Arts and Cultural Affairs for the City of Newark, Fayemi Shakur, for her amazing leadership and support. Dylan Carmichael is the gentleman who actually helped make all of this happen on the tech side, so actually filming this and capturing the audio and editing everything together for this evening. So thank you, Dylan, for your hard work in that space. Shout out to NJXO, which is a part of the NAACP, the work that they do with young people and getting them to be working out here in this world is actually how I found 2 of the young people who were performed tonight. So I have to shout out NJXO, and specifically the Newark branch and the Orange and Maplewood branch of NJXO. Shout out. Shout out to Stephanie Weymouth and People's Prep, who helped connect me to some of the young people as well. And of course, I have to thank each and every one of the young people that performed: Dezan, Isaiah, Goldie, Aljanad, Rabia, Jami Lex, and Omotolani. Thank you so much for sharing your art and talent with us. And I know that we'll have many more opportunities to work together in future, and hopefully some people tonight become aware of all your amazing talent, and amazing connections might be able to be made and fostered through this. So thank you again for sharing with us. And finally, I have to thank the entire team at Yendor. This is definitely not a one-person operation. In fact, a lot of the work that we've been able to do in the space of theater would not be possible without the team at Yendor. That's Malcolm Rowling, Kareem Willis, and of course, Yendor Theater Company's managing director, Nicolette Lynch. And a very final thank you to Rodney Gilbert for the amazing work and the foundation that he laid for all of us, for the love that he had for young people that we carry on to this day, for the amazing trail that he blazed, and we continue to carry on the legacy of Yendor in honor of you, Rodney Gilbert. So, all the thank yous out of the way, I want to now, of course, introduce and transition to final performer of this evening, Oma Talani. Thank you everyone for joining us, and please stay connected, stay tuned for more work from us at Yendor.
Hi, my name is Omotalani Aziz. I am a junior in People's Preparatory Charter School. I am Nigerian and I love performing. I love to use my voice to speak out for people who were not as bold as me. My first piece is Pretty Fire by Shalane Woodard. I have quite a lot of people that inspire me to do art. I am inspired by Edward Stewart. She's a poetry performer, and I love watching her. She uses her poems to basically tell the world about stories that are uncomfortable to talk about, and that's the number one person I would think about if it has to do with any performance. Shout out to my immediate sister. She's also a media and theater student. She's a major in that, and I've watched her growing up, be a drummer, be a singer, be an actress. And my mom is also she does a lot of acting and singing, and they're the people that I look up to know that I'm in a family of performing arts, and they will support me despite anything I decide I want to do in arts. In my neighborhood, everybody's grandparents lived in Dixie. When summertime came, we were all going up to Dixie where our grandparents spoiled us silly. As far as we were concerned, Dixie meant freedom. My parents only stayed 1 week in Dixie because there was this man in Dixie Mama didn't like. She would say, "I tell you, I just can't stand Jim Crow." See, our grandmother was our hero. She wasn't afraid of nothing. She would sit us up on the porch and teach us life lessons. She would say, "Never let anyone have the last word if you know you're right. Never let anyone have the last word." One evening, just before dark, we were all out in the road playing. The next thing we know, grandparents and parents started snatching the kids left and right and whisking them into their houses. Ollie and I didn't know what to do, so we went under the street to stay across from Grandmama's house. Soon, Grandmama ran down those stairs, raced across the road, grabbed us both by the hand, pulled us into the house, and threw us up against the wall, right under the windowsill. "Shh, pray. Shh, I said pray now." Granddaddy was seated in his rocking chair, facing the window, glasses on, Bible open. He was praying. "The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. He restoreth my soul. I will fear no evil." Then suddenly I heard it, whoosh! Then we saw it flickering in Granddaddy's glasses. Ollie and I had to turn around real quick and go peek out that window. Just our eyes right above the windowsill. There it was. One great big Jesus Christ cross. Flaming, burning in the dark night. Beautiful! Pretty fire! Pretty fire! Pretty fire! Suddenly Grandmother yanked us both around and looked us right in our faces. That is not pretty. That is ugly, and that is the ugliest thing you would ever see. I looked in my grandmother's eyes, filled with fire. For the first time in my life, I saw that Grandmama was afraid. Grandmama sat with us on the floor as we watched the curse burn in Granddaddy's glasses. The next morning, we woke, but everything was different. Nobody spoke, not one word, not a single soul was out. Ollie and I went out and walked to the bottom of the porch. Then we saw it. It was big and black with charcoal stuck to it all the way to the top. Grandmama was right. It was ugly and it had a horrible smell. My grandmother used to say God had delivered us and brought us to our promised land. See, my grandparents lived a saved, sanctioned, filled with the Holy Ghost kind of existence. Whatever they knew, they shared with us. They taught us about love, life, and tolerance. Grandmama would say a woman should always be prepared to do whatever she has to do for the sake of her family and loved ones. The sheer power of her faith ignited. I looked over at Grandmama and fear flew from me. My second piece is an original piece I wrote, and it's If Only She Knew. And this was inspired by Amanda Gorman. And the day she performed at the inauguration, I got a lot of messages telling me, oh, you remind me of this person and I better see you up there. And I listened to her and she sent a spark to me where I actually was like, I would write my poem one day, and I just slept on it, but I couldn't sleep. And I woke up from a dream 3 a.m. in the morning and I wrote my poem. Of course, I had to work on it for like a month, but I wrote that poem from a place of wisdom and understanding, I would believe. And this poem means a lot to me. I felt connected to the poem in every way possible. And it's one thing that makes me happy. If only she knew her own beauty. She is beautiful, she is breathtakingly gorgeous. But her problem was wanting to fit in so much she would belittle herself. If only she knew how incredibly unique she was, sitting on top of the world's hill, but let jealousy, accompanied by the greediness of the world, into a living room and watch them dig her foundations right there. And then one by one they came and left, went out to bring more people to use and be the equipment. She sat on a throne and watched. She let them continue with the genuine hope that she had enough to share with others. She saw them smiling at her, but there was something about that smile, something suspicious that made her nervous. She adjusted on the throne as they became uncomfortable under her throne, already turning into flames as she saw the feet of the people stained with the mud of their own land, metal dangling at the wrist of the people. She yelled out in agony. Drip, drip, drip. She felt the thick liquid dripping down her eyes, the thick liquid drizzling down every opening in her body. Then drop, drop, drop the drops of red liquid thicker than hers, but falling from her, but not from her only. The throne she sits upon bleeds, the bloody clothes under the women that gave birth to her, the bloody tears of every legend that made her, the bloody sweats leaking out of the hands of every carver that came together to carve her, the bloody water the gods had to drink in sacrifice to her name, the bloody parts that children had to walk on after a war that was fought for her, the actual blood of every warrior that came to fight for her. They bleed, if only she knew. The blood mixing with the mud, foundation weakened, seats on top of the hill sinking, jealousy united with greed, giving birth to corruption, placed the seats upon that hill. If only she knew that these people were not to be trusted, she would have put up a fight, would have locked them out, would have had the nerve to look in the people's eyes to see that they forgave her. If only she knew that she could now come out of the prison she buried herself in for hundreds of years. We screamed, "Come out, Mother Africa." We forgive you, Mother Africa. You have suffered enough for a little mistake that cost the life and freedom of your people. If only she knew she could now love herself, to forgive herself. We chant all night, "Come out, Mother Africa." We forgive you, Mother Africa. We forgive you, Mother Africa. I would say always think about your first choice, the thing your heart follows the most. Don't let anyone influence what you love the most. Don't let them change it. Don't let them sway you away from what your heart loves the most. Always go for what your heart wants the most and pursue that.